Hello, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today I wanted to share with you some of the biggest things that I learned in my first ever dry January month of sobriety. So I think there's a lot of myths, some misconceptions maybe about quitting alcohol, about kind of overcoming some addictions and things. And I kind of just wanted to go over the biggest ones that I feel. The biggest is going to be at the end, so stay tuned. If you haven't seen the full 30-day vlog, I do have a separate playlist for it here that you can find. You can see all of the highs and lows. I documented almost daily how I felt, and there were some surprises in there. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Otherwise, we shall begin this discussion. First things first, thank you to all of my dear supporters and people that cheered me on along the way, even when I fell off once or twice, because let's face it, we're all human, we make mistakes, things happen, but it's from there that we really get to see our growth or witness our character, because it's not that we fall or that we make a mistake, it's whether we get back up and we try again. So that was a really big thing for me. I'm usually pretty hard on myself. And it was really nice to have that support of people that still really truly cared about my well-being and how I was doing, and really urged me to just get up, brush yourself off, and try again when I did. So thank you to everyone who followed my journey. I could not have done it without you, truly, which kind of leads me into my first big point that I kind of want to demystify almost. I think it's kind of a myth, especially in this day and age, in this today modern society. I'm seeing this as a theme more and more of people becoming sober or wanting to quit alcohol. They're realizing that it's not what it's cracked out to be. We all get super excited and we obsess over it as a society, turning 21, having your big drunken blowout. You can finally buy booze. Ah! But I think people are starting to realize that it's not like this big thing that we made it out to be as a society, and we can always kind of dial it back and take it out. Because if you haven't seen on a lot of social media, there's that hashtag sober curious going around. So I know it's been a thing more and more, especially as we became locked in our houses for a few years. And I think people started to, maybe it helped kind of ramp up the drinking problem, which especially was the case for me. So I completely understand, and that kind of took me a few years to get to that point where I was very curious about the sober curious, but I think a lot more people are doing it now. I think it's a little bit more popular. So my first point is that I wanted to do this for a while. I was kind of scared to, I was hesitant to really put my foot forward and start telling everyone that I was quitting drinking. So I had tried this a few times. If you're watching these, if you're one of my friends or my coworkers, you know, because you saw me go through this. I tried last year to do dry January. I've tried a few times, I'm not going to drink throughout the week, I'll just drink on weekends. And I thought by telling a few people it would help keep myself more accountable, but it didn't. Turns out I needed to have a more widespread accountability. So thank you again for helping me stick with it actually this time. And in that process, I found that a lot of people are doing the same thing. It's not just me that was going this alone. It wasn't just one person on the other end that was supporting me. It was hundreds. The reaction that I got, the first little video that I posted, I was in tears. I was just fed up with my choices, my lifestyle. The outpouring reach of support that I got really was the true catalyst that made me make that decision, that made me say, yes, I am going to end this right now. So I think what I'm trying to say is it's not as taboo or a touchy subject as we may think it is. In 2024, I think a lot of people are becoming more conscious and they want to lift that veil. They don't want to hide anymore. They want to shed these things that are not serving them and helping them. And I don't think it's a very lonely road to walk at the moment anymore. They're even coming out with 0% alcohol White Claws and seltzers so that people can go out and have these drinks that aren't alcoholic, because a lot of it is around the social stigma. My friends aren't going to hang out with me anymore, and things like that, which, you know, is still a little bit true. Your friendships, your relationships do change because of your activities. If you're not drinking anymore, you find other things to do and other people that enjoy doing those things. But I just don't think it's that big of a thing anymore. If you were telling people that I'm getting sober or I'm not drinking anymore, I was really, really afraid of a lot of people's reactions. I thought they were going to scoff at me, make fun of me, judge me, because they knew how much I had been drinking. Some of them be like, oh, you can't do it. Like, okay, have fun with that. Good luck. But I actually received the opposite. Everyone I knew was so supportive. Even the people that I didn't think really cared at all, they almost seemed the most supportive and the most cared about it. Like, people were asking me weeks later, like, so how's it going? Like, how, you know, what are you finding most difficult? Like, how are you doing? And I felt a more genuine, heartfelt curiosity more than like, tell me that you messed up and blah, blah, blah. Like, it felt like people really, truly did care about it and my journey with it. And that was really touching and definitely helped me continue moving forward with it. So I just wanted to say, if you are thinking about going sober, cutting alcohol out of your life, or just consuming less, you know, it doesn't always have to be a complete sober union. You know, I'm not going to have a drink for the rest of my life. I plan on moderating myself on the weekends and not having alcohol or anything like that throughout the week to help my productivity levels. But if you are curious about any of this, don't think that you are walking this alone. Don't think that you are going it alone. And the more you share, the more you open up, the more you feel better. The more you open up to yourself, because you are speaking your truth. You are telling others your intention, your plan, what's been on your mind. And it feels good. It feels liberating to be a little bit vulnerable. There is strength in vulnerability. You are not weak for doing this or for grappling with this situation. Many others are. And in fact, you are finding strength by coming to this realization and wanting to actively change your behavior. And there are so many friends that you can meet, a community of like-minded individuals like this one that you are watching. This community helped me so much, and I believe that that is a strong supporter in helping recover yourself from any addiction, whether it be food, some sort of drugs, alcohol, gambling, whatever it is. So I just want to say, if you are thinking about it or you are on the steps of the path of recovery, I am here for you. This community has certainly shown that we are here for you, and you can do it. You can do anything you set your mind to. People won't be judging you as much as you think. I don't think they really care that much. They're more concerned about their own selves. And even if they are, those are the people that you don't want to have around anyway. You want them out more than you want the alcohol out. And my second biggest takeaway from this past month so far has been the fact that I was definitely running and hiding and escaping. And while I knew that that is kind of a big reason that people drink, like that tends to be one of the things, like socialness and you're escaping from something. And I knew I kind of was, because I've always been a very emotional person, but I didn't realize how deep these escaping tendencies had gone to until I unearthed it, until I unveiled it to myself and I stopped myself from having those drinks. I was forced to face the reality. I was smacked in the face with what I had been running from. And it was the fact that I don't really know who I am in this current phase of my life right now. I've kind of like left my old self behind, but I'm not where I know I will be and where I want to be and where I'm striving to be yet. So I'm kind of stuck in this in between, this limbo. And I think for a while I was really struggling with that, kind of not even admitting it to myself or not realizing that's what was going on. So I started hiding behind the booze, the alcohol, reaching for a drink instead of reaching for a journal to deal with these things and what I was feeling and what I didn't understand what I was feeling. So when I started to cut that out, I was really forced to just sit with myself. I was forced to feel these ugly feelings. I cried for literally days. And I didn't even know why. There were things that I was hiding from myself that I couldn't realize, because every time they would kind of start to bubble up to the surface, I would just shove it down with some more alcohol. And it was actually the best part of this process. I started welcoming the emotions, the outpouring of emotions, no matter where I was. I kind of warned people at work. Like, I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to be okay. I am okay, but just letting you know what I've been going through so you don't misinterpret these emotional outbursts. And once I did that, it felt really good. I felt like I was purging old layers of myself, purging belief systems that I no longer agree to, purging doubts, insecurities, labels, and titles, things that I had kind of clung to, that I was like, this is me, this is my identity, this is who I am. I was able to just kind of release it. It was a very energetic feeling of release, and I definitely feel more free, more liberated, more open, and more relaxed after going through this process. The process itself was very ugly, but even while I was purging these emotions and feeling the ick, I really learned how to lean into the ick, because you can't, life is made of polar opposites, right? You can't have light without dark. You can't have good without bad. So I really learned throughout this month, and it took a while, I learned to lean into the days or the moments that felt icky, blah, blah, because you need to feel those. And then on the flip side, when you start to feel up and happy again, it's so much more worth it and meaningful, because you know what the other side feels like, and you pushed yourself to get there, and it just feels more rewarding, I guess. Like, you don't have to be happy all the time. There are times where you are going to be sad, where you are going to be frustrated, mad, guilty, whatever the feeling is. And you don't need to hide behind it with food or alcohol to make yourself feel better. Like, you will feel better in time. Give yourself time when these things happen. You don't need to instantly relax yourself with a drink. Give it time. Give it time. Use your different tools to process it, and it will release. And you will probably feel way better than if you would have given yourself instant gratification with whatever it is that you are coping with. The instant gratification is pretty gone. And now that I've been working towards these other practices, I get more long-term gratification by being productive, fulfilling my goals. So this month really, really taught me a lot about myself, about the world, and I'm pretty proud that I did this. I recommend, even if you don't plan on stopping, just get yourself to stop for a few weeks or for a month and just notice how you feel. Just see. Do it as an experiment. Let me know how it goes. I would love to know and hear your experiences. This has definitely been one of my favorite parts of this process, is hearing others and sharing experiences, building this community of people who are here to support and lift each other up and help each other. I would love to know if any of this resonated with you. I will definitely link the week 1 vlog where I talked about all the mental changes that happened. The first week was very intense. I had about like 7 or 8 realizations, and I go through that in this video that I will link here for you. And I really just wanted to take away some of the scariness that can come from anticipating a change like this, because there are parts that are going to suck. There are parts that are a little terrifying, but in the end, it's really, really worth it. You are worth it. You deserve to feel better, to feel happier and healthier. And whatever it is you are struggling with, you can overcome it in due time, with consistency, with practice, and by practicing forgiveness, compassion, and love for yourself. So I hope this discussion today was able to make you feel a little bit lighter, put your mind at a little bit of ease, and hopefully some of it resonated with you, because I believe in you and I want you to feel your very best. So on that note, I look forward to the next time we meet, whether it be for a little chat or whether it be for a practice on the mat. Don't forget, if you would like to see most videos 24 hours before they go public, hit join and become a member for a very, very small amount of money a month to help support these free videos here on YouTube and support me as a creator. Thank you again. Until next time.